cultural revelation and learn more about the Philippines and its rich culture. And what better place is there to explore than Atimonan, QUEZON, which is famous for its ecology and diversity.
Atimonan lies on the eastern seaboard of the Philippines and is approximately 175 kilometers southeast of Manila. If one is travelling from Manila, you can travel along the famous Zigzag road, snaking down the incredibly steep terrain. And being a coastal town, Atimonan is also accessible by sea. Founded at the turn of the 17th century and is today a progressive town, Atimonan is home to many beautiful beaches and blessed with many natural tourist attractions and a kind-hearted, welcoming people. According to popular lore, the region's name originated from the town's founder, who is referred to as Atimonan. One of the centerpieces of the community is the parish church, which lies at the heart of the town. The church and the adjoining convent were originally constructed during the 17th century and over time have overseen various restorations and renovations, culminating in the striking building which we see today, which dominates the townscape. The church is home to beautiful murals painted on the ceiling, depicting scenes from the Bible. The statues of the saints watch over the churchgoers, and the historic bell and bell tower watches over the land. Being a coastal town, fishing plays an important role to the community. The early morning fish market is packed, a hive full of activity. The market is brimming with fish, a testament to the bountiful surrounding seas. I was so surprised to see such a large variety of different species, fish of every conceivable size and shape, from the large down to the small, and a plethora of colours, from metallic silver to eye-catching red. But what particularly caught my eye were some of the strange sea creatures, that look like monsters from the deep, armed with their scary tendrils. Atimonan is blessed with many natural attractions on both land and at sea, and is certainly a place for adventure and recreational activities. Atimonan is a perfect place for nature trekking and its marine habitats, which are home to corals and a huge variety of fish, making it a perfect place for swimming, snorkeling and diving. There are also numerous resorts lining the stretch of the beach, facing the Lamon Bay.
Okay, we're about to embark upon a seafaring adventure. The waves look quite high. They've died down a bit, and we're going to be riding on a banca. We'll find out how it should be pronounced later. But it's basically just a wooden raft on the ocean. So hopefully we won't get washed out to sea. But I feel safe because we have about 5 experienced divers with us. I don't know whether that means we might fall out to sea or not, and they need to rescue us. But no, I think it should be safe. So it should be a great adventure.
It turns out that the rafts are called balsa, and they are predominantly made from bamboo, and the roofs are made from nipa. They literally look like native houses which have been picked up and turned into seafaring vessels. The table in the middle makes them perfect for picnics out in the middle of the ocean. Or just simply relax and feel the undulations of the waves and the refreshing sea breeze blow through one's hair and let all your troubles fade away.
The water's actually pretty calm, it's quite a relaxing journey so far. But the really strange thing is that we're actually powered by our tour guides here. They're actually pulling us physically along the water, along this rope, which is pretty impressive. So hopefully we shouldn't go astray as long as they don't let go of the rope. So it's pretty cool.
The destination is only a few hundred meters out from the coastline, and after watching these guys tirelessly pull away, I thought it would be worth a go.
That's surprisingly difficult. The rope's really slippery and also quite, what's the word? A lot of friction on the hands. I need a pair of gloves. That's actually really hard work. They're making it look easy. And the funny thing is, you feel like you're almost going to fall over because you're focusing so hard on the rope. It's quite cool. It's definitely worth a go.
It's only a short journey out to the reef, and in less than half an hour, we finally arrive. It's now time to feed the fish. The fishes appear almost instantly, confident enough to literally feed out of your hand. And not just one of them, but several at once, all vying for a tasty morsel. A bit too enthusiastic for my liking, but rest assured, the fish are perfectly safe. To get even closer, you can swim amongst them. These fish are surprisingly confident and not at all shy. The water is lovely, warm and calm. The conditions are perfect to take advantage of this marine splendour. The more adventurous people can avail the snorkeling and diving services the resorts have to offer. The reef itself is artificial and is believed to be the biggest man-made reef in the country. There is a diverse spectrum of different marine life which resides at the reef.
It's amazing how much marine life is teeming under the surface. I didn't see any mermaids, but we saw lots of small fishes, big fishes, of all colours and descriptions. It's absolutely amazing, swimming right underneath you to touch you. I was actually quite scared because when I was offering the bread, they weren't taking it politely, they were all charging for the bread. And hopefully they were full up so they didn't want a taste of me. But for the more experienced divers, it's a brilliant place to experience some marine life as well. And obviously the snorkeling is great fun. And there's some small little jellyfish in the sea to see as well. There's really everything here, and it's really a great experience.
It's time to get my feet back on terra firma and continue the adventure. Atimonan is full of lush rainforests and extensive karst landscapes. The area is full of geological richness. The surface bedrock has been weathered away to form some striking mountain vistas, or excavated to form numerous caves and sinkholes. One of the most famous sites in the region is Mount Pinagbanderahan. The jump-off point to the mount is Atimonan Zigzag Park. The park is home to an ensemble of different man-made animals. It contains many nipper huts, small eateries and shops sporting locally made produce and handicrafts, which make for the perfect souvenirs, as well as a pleasant veranda. According to the local guides, the climb would only take around an hour. Apparently, however, what takes them an hour took us a few hours.
The forest is alive with sounds of crickets and strange animals. I have no idea. It sounds like a menagerie of fire alarms, each with a different tone going off in the background. It's quite spectacular, and some of the scenery is breathtaking, but you wouldn't want to fall down some of the holes.
Throughout the trek, there are strangely shaped rocks, and the rainforest above provides some much appreciated shade from the sun.
Travelled off the beaten track into the middle of absolutely nowhere. Hopefully our guides are taking us somewhere safe. I'm actually stuck in between two colossal holes. They're so deep I'm scared to even look over the edge. I mean, I don't want to fall down to my... You can't even see the bottom. That's how deep these guys are. I can't see the bottom of that one. Let's have a look at this one. I don't know, I don't want to even touch the tree in case it falls down. You literally cannot see daylight at the bottom. It is that deep. It's unbelievable. So what about this one? I don't know, I'm too scared to go near the edge. Do you reckon is it safe, do you reckon? Wow. They're bottomless, potentially 2 bottomless pits I'm stuck in the middle of. So let's continue on and try not to misstep or misslip. Go on.
Eventually we make it past the scary holes, and after successfully battling our way through the untamed forest, we find the cave's entrance up ahead.
Cool. You see that wobble? Oh my word, e-wipers. Okay, about to enter the subterranean world to go deep underground into these caves. This is truly one of nature's wonders, this beautiful limestone cave. You can see stalactites, stalagmites, the works. It's amazing. I feel like I'm in the abyss here. Just looking over makes me feel a bit wheezy. This looks like some subterranean underworld.
Before entering the caves, it's time to get the safety gear on and mount the torches upon our heads to make sure we can see where we're going. The path into the cave certainly isn't a straightforward one. The entrance to the cave is dark and foreboding. To think that all of these caves started off as tiny little cracks in the bedrock, and the action of the water permeating the rock slowly over many years dissolves and eats away at them, eventually widening the cracks to form these huge subterranean passages. Inside the cave are numerous features which are formed over hundreds upon hundreds of years from the deposition of minerals dripping from the ceilings. In some places, the stalactites from the ceilings have fused together with the stalagmites which have arose from the ground to form strange rock pillars which would look at home on an alien planet. The cave is also home to a colony of bats, and take my word for it, the smell of their droppings is quite pungent, and their collective noise sends shudders down one's spine. After exploring the cave, it's now time to continue the journey through the forest to the peak of the mount. The journey is steep and certainly makes for a good workout.
That was certainly an exhausting journey. We must have climbed up at least probably 1 million steps, I don't know. And we're approximately 1,200 feet above sea level, and the views are spectacular.
The views atop Pinagbanderahan are really breathtaking. And the high vantage point is perfect for appreciating the karst scenery and vegetation. The name Pinagbanderahan literally means where the flag was hoisted. It was established in 1939 at the beginning of World War II and was used as a site for a cavalry detachment. Both American and Japanese flags were raised there before finally the Philippine flag reclaimed its proper place in 1946, hence the name of the peak. The journey back was certainly easier, as most of it was downhill. We returned to the Zigzag Park to rest and recuperate. The small stores are full of native handicrafts, from brushes and furniture to jewellery and woven baskets. There are also many local delicacies and snacks on offer. Apart from the souvenirs and the food, it's also a great place to take in some local culture. The people from Atimonan, called Atimonan, certainly have a love for music and dance. as personified by their original dancers. Their dances have a distinctly Spanish feel, interwoven with native practices. The Atimonan's unique cultural identity, history and traditions are told through a combination of dance and ethnic music. The dances are lively and have a variety of themes, ranging from courtship to nature and work. Dances such as the Tandaval were traditionally performed by the Atimonan after their tiring work in the farms, particularly during the harvest season. Others focus on courtship and seduction, such as the Patritos dance. The Patritos is a festival dance from Atimonan, featuring a couple's flirtatious and playful interaction. It is danced in alternating slow and fast waltz tempos, and culminates in a vivid twirling sequence by the girl. Certainly an excellent way to win the affections of a loved one. The variations in dance styles is extensive. The polka ball is a dance influenced by two distinct European styles, polka and waltz, while other dances are distinctively native, using bamboo as percussion instruments. The Atimonan's colourful personalities are captured by their garb and upbeat music. The Tinikling dance is named after the local tickling birds. It is said that the dance imitates the movement of the tickling birds as they gracefully walk amongst the grass, or some say as the birds dodge the bamboo traps set out by the rice farmers. The graceful motions and speed of the birds are portrayed by the dancers dexterously stepping between the moving bamboo poles. This dance is all about timing and coordination. The beat of the bamboo upon the ground sets the tempo of the dance, and the dancers use their agility and speed to weave into and out of the moving poles, trying to avoid their feet from being ensnared in the clashing bamboo. As the dance proceeds, the bamboo opens and closes faster and faster. The sound of the beating poles loudens, and the feet soon become a blur. A thrilling spectacle indeed.
We see some really graceful native dancing there, a brilliant display. And we've also seen some really scary ones as their feet are dodging in and out of the poles, hopefully without their feet becoming chopped off. It's called the Tinikling, and I'm gonna brave and have a go. Hopefully my ankles don't get destroyed. So we're gonna ask the experts for some help and some guidance. That's scary.
The dancing is over.
Yeah.
It's now time to engage in some more nature trekking.
I'm preparing myself for the journey ahead. We've got a 2-hour trek all the way to Banta Kai waterfalls. It should be terrific. Our jump-off point is Santa Catalina, which is the place we're in now. It's really, really nice. It's a lush tropical rainforest, and hopefully the journey ahead shouldn't be too arduous, but something tells me that this 2-hour journey is going to be tough.
The journey starts off easy, with gently sloping paths through lush rainforests. A pleasant breeze wafting through the air, and dappled sunlight percolating through the leaf cover. As the journey progresses, the terrain starts to become more adventurous. Crossing over small brooks and slippery rocks, and the gradients soon accelerate to really test the muscles. For a raised city dweller, travelling through the forest is in itself a spectacular thing to behold. However, for many people, they do it on a regular basis as their livelihood depends on the forest. Indeed, halfway through the journey, we stumble across a coconut processing place. Here they produce copra, which is dried coconut meat, and they also turn the husks into charcoal. In the Philippines, nothing goes to waste. Harvesting from the forest is their way of life. The splitting the coconuts is certainly not trivial.
He's just made that look really easy, so I'm curious to have a go. Can you teach me how to dehusk? How? Push. I mean, there's a big sharp knife underneath it, so I'm a bit scared. Yeah? Oh, yeah.
The pile is ginormous. I can only imagine how much effort must have gone into climbing up millions of trees to collect this many. And furthermore, the effort this must have taken to trek back and forth to create such a large pile. The coconut is really quite a surprisingly diverse creature. A refreshing drink and tasty white meat inside. But apart from the drinking of the juice and the eating of the meat, there is also a third weird variation, hitherto unknown to me. When the coconut has been left to age, they turn into something completely different altogether. A local expert cracks open the coconut with a razor-sharp bolo to reveal the surprise inside. Nature has a lot to offer. Feeling energised with buku power, it's time to continue on with the journey. The coconut farmer's house represents the threshold from pleasant man-made paths to off-road terrain. The lack of paths introducing a marked change in the challenge and intensity of the journey. The journey is certainly off the beaten track. We battle through the jungle, the leaves and the vines, up steep and rapid descents, until eventually we make it to Banta Kai caves. The entrance to the caves seem like they are in the middle of nowhere. How someone could have found these caves in such a remote area is beyond me.
I feel like I'm deep in the belly of the earth. It's horrifying to think how much soil must be above our heads. We're in the Banta Kai cave and it's so impressive. Even somewhere as deep as this, we're surrounded by natural beauty. There's beautiful stalactites and stalagmites all over the place. It's amazing to think how many thousands and thousands of years these structures must have taken to form.
The long journey was certainly worth it. The cave system is surprisingly extensive and easy to navigate. It's quiet and cool inside, a contrast to the heat and the noise of the jungle. The caves are a montage of peculiar shapes and forms. Nature really does produce some fine artistry. It is but a short journey from Banta Kai Caves to Banta Kai Falls, perhaps some 20 minutes. However, the path is equally as adventurous. I think the trick is always to have a keen eye and to make sure you have a firm footing, as the jungle can be a mischievous creature. The forest is dense and wild, the land covered with vegetation. It's a great place to walk through. I really feel like an intrepid adventurer braving the wild frontier. However, there is one final hurdle to get over before reaching the falls. I can hear the waterfalls in the close distance, but to get there one must descend down exceptionally steep terrain by a combination of rappelling and climbing. I feel like a ninja scaling down these natural walls. The refreshing cold water gracefully cascades down the beautifully carved rocks. Banta Kai Caves and Falls are without a doubt an excellent place for hiking and nature enthusiasts to venture to. And for the adrenaline junkies, one can even try climbing up the rock face and taking a dive into the waterfall's plunge pool. But that's certainly not an activity for the faint-hearted. The journey was quite arduous, and it's time for a well-deserved snack. But just imagine having to carry plenty of heavy plates for everyone. So a clever alternative is to use the broad leaves of the plants we passed throughout our journey as dinner plates. a great example of living off the land, as well as a classic example of Filipino inventiveness and ingenuity.
Atimonan, what a place, full of rich ecology, beautiful geology, and certainly a place for adventure, suitable for all ages, all ranges. It's really good. Nice pleasant treks through the epic, intrepid adventure. Wow, it's absolutely spectacular. And I love the fishes in the sea, some of the scary sea monsters that are available, as well as the beautiful, beautiful waterfalls, really picturesque scenery and some places of perfect tranquil relaxation. Certainly a place to visit. It's also jam-packed full of culture with beautiful dancers and beautiful native dancers, as well as native products to try and some lovely snacks and delicacies.